Hello and welcome to Ask the Crown. I'm Stephanie McGrain, and I am so excited to have the beautiful Jahaira Bratton joining me tonight. She is Miss Asia Pacific World. Welcome, Jahaira.
Hi, thanks for having me, Stephanie.
Oh, so excited to have you, and I have to say congratulations on winning your title. That is so exciting. You have to tell us. Now, I know you competed at the Miss Asia Pacific World pageant, so tell us what that was like.
It was really intense. It was 2 weeks of meeting 50 girls and doing probably about 10 different sponsor visits and probably about 2 different fashion shows, all leading up to rehearsal and then the final big night where we competed in a Victoria's Secret style swimsuit and evening gown competition that was more so fashion couture versus the traditional pageant style evening gown, as well as just our cultural costumes where everybody was able to represent their country. So it was nice to see all the girls compete in their national costume. It's just to see the different cultures that were there.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. Okay, now I know evening gown competition was a little bit different, but tell us overall, how does this pageant compare to other international pageants?
I think it's very similar qualities because you do have all the countries that do compete, but there's always going to have that little difference, especially being in Korea, because they definitely have a lot of the Korean influence and Asian influence into their pageant. And I want to say, for the most part, it's not a traditional pageant. It's more pageant influence, but our evening gown, like I said before, is more fashion couture. So it's not the pageant, long trains and everything and the posing. It was really like doing a fashion show for your evening gown competition, which is definitely different from most international pageants.
So what was it like competing in Korea? And what was it like with all the cultural differences? I'm sure it was an incredible experience, but tell us, the viewers, what it was like.
I think it was perfect timing. The weather was beautiful the entire time. It was never really higher than 85 degrees. It was zero humidity. So for girls, you know how your hair is going to be. So it's just like, that was a blessing to be in such great, beautiful weather. As for the culture, they did a really good job just introducing us to their tradition. We went to a lot of different Korean barbecue restaurants to really get to try the food and the cuisines. We also went to a Korean wedding. And we also saw some of the native traditions, like making rice cakes and just some of the toys that toddlers play with, and also just milling rice and a lot of just different traditions that Koreans have, and just the value that they have in marriage and in their family. They take a lot of pride in that, and it showed through the pageant throughout the 2 weeks that we were there.
Wow, that sounds extraordinary. And Jahaira, you have to tell us, now, how did you prepare to compete at this pageant, and what challenges did you face?
I think the number one challenge I faced was that I had such a short time to prepare for an international pageant. I found out maybe about 5 weeks before I was competing that I was actually going to be traveling halfway around the world for 2 weeks. So to actually get a lot of the fitness training in, making sure that I had everything for backups, whether I had 2 evening gowns that I brought, probably about 20 different outfits. I literally had a shoe luggage bag just strictly for shoes. So just making sure that you can really dot all your I's and cross your T's, and just making sure that you're prepared, because I didn't know what to expect. You can see online how the weather was going to be beautiful, but you just really never knew. So just being over prepared with wardrobe, making sure I ate healthy and was in the gym for the last 6 weeks, and then just going in there with a clear state of mind to say, hey, it's an international pageant, have fun. There's going to be girls from all different walks of life in different countries, so just enjoy it. That's the most important part.
I bet that was amazing, meeting all the ladies from around the world, but that was incredible.
Absolutely. I still keep in touch, just like any other pageant that you go to. I keep in touch with all of them, and Facebook always helps with that.
It sure does. Okay, Jahaira, tell us again, what are the areas of competition in this pageant?
So you have 4 main areas of competition. You have your evening gown competition. Then you also have a Victoria's Secret fashion show swimsuit. So if you see in a Victoria's Secret fashion show, you could go anywhere from angel wings to long capes to boots. So that's the style for a swimsuit, which is definitely non-traditional. And then also you have your national costume, where you just represent something that's native to your country, something that's traditional. And then the last one is interview, which is it's more of a panel setting in a group. So literally you have 5 judges ask 5 girls the same question, and you get a chance to hear at least someone's answer for interview, but it's definitely different because you can't really anticipate what they're going to ask you.
Wow. So now you were in interview with the other competitors. Is that correct?
Yes. They did groups of 4 to 5, and I was in a setting with 4 different girls, and it's usually based alphabetically by country. So I was with, let's see, Vanuatu, Vietnam, and Russia, and it was just interesting to see what their responses were and my response, because no matter if you hear the question before the next person, you're always going to have a different response.
That's so true. And that's usually interview is so private. You don't know what's happening with the other contestants. So I bet that was just, you know, amazing, remarkable being able to be in interview with these other women from around the world and hear their responses.
It was great. It was actually more relaxing because, you know, everyone goes into interview kind of like anxious and anticipating. But when you're in a group setting, I think it's a lot easier to speak in a group versus one-on-one with 5 judges just kind of like asking you rapid fire questions. So I was like, okay, I get one question that we all get. I think that's okay.
Absolutely. Now, in addition to competing in pageants, I know that you also model. So tell us about some of your modeling and when you first started modeling.
I started modeling about, I want to say like 5 years ago. I used to work at Hooters and I did their Hooters pageant. And I also did a lot of calendars for motorcycle events, auto shows. I'm also one of the Ciroc spokesmodels in DC. I've been doing that for the last 5 years. So I had a great opportunity to work with Diddy and LeBron James. Like a list, I can go down a list of celebrities that I was able to work with based on doing like brand ambassadorship. And then also I've done a few fashion shows. I did Walk This Way, which is a charity fashion show that's geared toward Becky Funds, where they donate money to victims that are been in domestic violent relationships. So for me, I thought that was a great way to not only do what I love, but also support people in a charitable event. I do fashion, and also I've done a couple of fashion shows in DC that are more like hair shows. So those are more fun since I'm not the tallest person when it comes to modeling, but hair shows also give you the opportunity just to have fun and kind of be more upbeat.
That sounds so impressive. And in addition to all of that, you are also giving back to your community. So tell us a little bit more about the work that you're doing with that.
I work with the USO on a small chapter that they do, Chicago Honor Flights, where we'll bring in World War II victims, well, not victims, but World War II veterans into Washington, D.C. We literally fly them in from Chicago, and for a whole day we get to take them around DC. We take them to, of course, the World War II Memorial, where we give them a really awesome celebration and really honor the oldest and then the youngest of the group. And then we take them to the Air and Space Museum, where they get to see all the like airplanes that were from like the Korean War, from World War II War. But it's really a full day of really honoring veterans that fought for us in our country, and to make sure that they go and know that they've been remembered for everything that they've done for us. So it's a full day. You know, I get a date for the day. It's usually an older guy or older lady, and we get to talk it up. And I think it's just really awesome to give back to them. And literally you'll see the tears from their crying faces because they just really are proud and happy that somebody really took the time out and just said thank you for everything they did and for our country. So it was such a great opportunity to do that.
Oh, gosh, that sounds fascinating. And I bet that's incredible to hear their stories and spend the day with them. So in addition to modeling and giving back to the community and pageantry and everything that you're doing and busy reigning, tell us where and when you will be giving up your title.
I will be giving up my title the weekend of March 14th. It will be in Washington, D.C. at the Arena Stage, which is on the southwest waterfront in Washington, D.C., which is really awesome and amazing because they just did all this new renovation. And the Arena Stage literally was built a few years ago, so we're kind of like the first ones to kind of have a big pageant at the Arena Stage. They usually do a lot of theater, but to bring a new age-style pageant there fits right in, which is pretty awesome.
Ooh, fantastic! And I've seen pictures of the venue, so it looks beautiful. And I'm so excited because I'll be helping to MC the pageant along with Valentino Lucas. So I'll be so excited to see you again in person. Yay!
It's so exciting. I mean, Arena Stage is absolutely beautiful, and I think everybody will love it. And just to see you and Valentino do the show, it really like takes and embodies the whole pageant community and then the fashion and modeling community too, because he won Model of the Year earlier this year, so for the male component. So it's great to see everything come together.
Oh, and he looks good. I'll be excited to meet him.
Nice little arm candy.
That's right, exactly. Okay, well, now the winner gets to compete at Miss Asia Pacific World. But tell us, where does the first runner-up get to go?
They're going to be able to compete later that year, and they have an event called Miss Asia Pacific Super Talent, where it's very similar to Asia Pacific World, but this one is geared more for competition versus the pageant style. So you still have some of the same components like interview and evening gown and swimsuit, but again, it's just a little bit more competitive in a sense from a modeling competition versus Miss Asia Pacific World is more pageant style.
Okay, now for all of the viewers, all of the ladies out there watching, what are the requirements to be able to compete at the Miss Asia Pacific World USA pageant?
As long as you are a resident in the United States, you can compete for Miss Asia Pacific World. You do have to be 18 to be able to compete, and of course, also having a flexible schedule. Just keep that in mind because you will be in Korea for 2 weeks. But unlike most pageants, they don't have a lot of stringent rules. Like there's not a real age cap. They do like to do 28 to 29, but a lot of the girls, I know a few of them were older than that, but they do like a age range. So if you look like you're the part, you can actually, so that's always a good plus.
Wow, okay. And this I've had some questions on too. Do you have to be Asian to compete in this pageant?
I think that's probably the #1 question I get asked a lot of the times too. Well, a little history about the Miss Asia Pacific World Pageant actually started as a regional competition that now is international. They just kept the name. So although it does say Asia Pacific, it's just the title of the competition, but you don't have to be Asian descent. You don't have to know someone that's Asian. You just have to be from the country that you're representing.
Good to know, good to know. And I did get asked that a few times. I've been talking and promoting the pageant, saying, hey, come to Washington, D.C. It's going to be an awesome time. So, yes, it's open to all.
It is open to all, absolutely.
Okay, now what is your advice to all of the ladies out there who want to compete for your crown?
I would say you have to kind of get out of the mindset of pageant, because this is definitely more fashion and modeling forward. So you do not have to learn how to do a catwalk. You do have to learn how to do different turns and different posing, because a lot of the weekends you're doing 2 weeks full of photos, 2 weeks of being with 50 different girls. So definitely, I think to really prepare for it, you have to think of it that you're actually a celebrity, because for 2 weeks that's what you are. You're literally getting chauffeured around a foreign country and everyone's looking at you because you are really a big deal there. So you have to keep that in mind, as well as just going in there and being open to the different culture, because being in Korea is definitely different than being in America. So you have to be open-minded to that. It's not in a negative way at all, but again, it's culturally, we're just a little bit different. So you have to go in there with an open mind. And once you realize that, you'll see what a beautiful country it is, what a beautiful culture it is, and you'll be able to enjoy your time.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. I wish I could compete.
Maybe they might do. They might extend it. Who knows? They're growing really rapidly, so who knows?
Oh my gosh, I would love it. I'll have to keep my fingers crossed.
I'll be rooting for you if you do it.
Okay, now tell the viewers, how can we find out more information? To all the ladies out there who want to compete, where should they go? What should they do? Where can they find out more about competing?
Absolutely. You can definitely go to the website, which is www.missasiapacificworldusa.com, and it'll give you a lot of the information of competing. Right now, we're actually doing a special if you decide to enter early. If you do it before December 31st, you'll be able to compete for $395. That will be the entry fee. And then anytime,
That's a good deal.
a really awesome deal. And
Yeah.
then you want to pay before the actual competition date, which is check-in is March 13th. So if you pay in full before then, it'll be $495. But you might see it's awesome and do a late bloomer because it's only a one-day event, which is going to be on March 14th. You can actually walk in the day of and compete and pay $595.
Wow. And you know what? And that's still an amazing deal. And just think about everything that the winner gets. And obviously, and a chance to compete at the international competition. So great deal.
Absolutely. And in addition to that, all expenses are paid to go to Korea. We take care of that. And then, of course, your wardrobe. We have a huge sponsorship for that. So they take care of a lot of your wardrobe, which helps because you're going to need at least 20 different outfits. And then, and just to know you're going to Korea, all expenses paid as a celebrity, and you get wardrobe. It's a pretty awesome deal.
Oh my gosh, it is. And all those outfits? Yeah. Oh gosh, I would love that. That sounds incredible. And Jahaira, tell us, now I know that you still have a little bit of time left during your reign, but what is next for you after you give up your title?
I am going to be competing again next year. I'm still debating. Either I'll do a state level pageant or I'll go and do another international pageant. Those are in a line, and then I'm also working on an accessory company right now that I'm hoping to launch right around the same time as my crowning giveaway. So not only will I be giving away my crown, but I'll probably be introducing everyone into a new accessory company, hopefully.
Wow, we will definitely be looking forward to that. And one last question about the pageant. I know a lot of times contestants want to know how the director is. So tell us about your fabulous director and how awesome he is.
Kyle Haggerty is our director, and Kelly has also been assisting him along the way, but Kyle's awesome to work with. And I forgot to mention, too, as a prize package, you do get a lot of modeling and coaching from the #1 pageant coach in the country, Kyle Haggerty and Associates. So it's a great opportunity just for learning and growing, and Kyle will really help you kind of groom yourself to compete, and just not even just competing standpoint for this one event, but if you want to have a further pursue in modeling or acting, he'll definitely be able to help you with that as well.
Gosh, yes, I love Kyle. He is fabulous. And oh my gosh, the prize package just keeps getting better and better. And it's nice to know sometimes you're not quite so sure about a director, but it's nice to know, that Kyle, he's an amazing guy. Love him. You'll have the best time ever.
Absolutely. He's such an incredible director to work with, and I'm really glad and honored to be working with him and having the opportunity to compete. And I'm looking forward to my successor, and we built the foundation now, and it's only going to be better for her. And even though you've heard our prize packages, it's still 6 months out or 5 months out, so we're still adding more prize packages and stuff like that. So just look forward to it. Like on the website, we'll probably post more things for the prize packages, but if you're going to compete, it'll be worth it. And such a great experience. I can't stress that enough, to be able to compete in another country, and those experiences and the friends that I met I'll take for life, so it's such a great opportunity.
Right, absolutely. And other than, some of the big top pageants, you don't get to compete internationally. This is an amazing deal, amazing prize package, getting to compete in Korea. Oh my gosh. Pass up this awesome opportunity.
It's so incredible. If you ever wanted an opportunity to compete internationally, this is the way to do it. Absolutely.
And Jahaira, now we're getting close to wrapping up the show, but tell us before we go, how can our viewers follow your journey and keep up with all of the amazing things that you're doing as the title holder?
You can follow either the Miss Asia Pacific USA page, which is exactly what it is. It's Miss Asia Pacific World USA. And that's their Facebook page, and I also post my pictures up there. But also Jahaira Bratton on Facebook. It's actually my personal page, but I let everybody go on my personal page because I post every time when I do events. Like I have a couple of charity events I'm doing this weekend, so I'll be posting pictures from that. So either one that you follow, Miss Asia Pacific World USA or Jahaira Bratton Facebook page, you can easily see my day-to-day for different events related to the pageant and just my everyday life. I do a lot of traveling as well, so get a step into my world a little bit.
We will definitely be following you, your journey. And gosh, I want to say thank you so much for joining me. It was so awesome having you. I just love you. You're so sweet and you're so beautiful. And I'm so excited to see you again in March. Yay!
Thanks to you, Stephanie, for having me. It's been such an honor. And girls, if you have any questions, you can always send me a message on Facebook through my personal page or through the Miss Asia Pacific World USA page, and we'll answer any of your questions or just tips that you want to know. I'm open to just answering any of your questions.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Yes, ladies, take advantage of that. Absolutely. And thanks to the viewers for tuning in. And until next time, be sure to shine bright like a diamond. Thanks, Jahaira.
Guys.
Bye.